Here are the big three non-negotiables. These are big take-home points, really, really important. Sleep, poop, blood sugar. All right? Well, you're not pooping blood sugar, but you're sleeping, pooping, and balanced blood sugar. These are the non-negotiables. These are no matter what you're dealing with, you want to think about these three things. How am I sleeping? All right? Because if you're not sleeping with deep quality sleep, high quality sleep, you are compromising your body's ability to heal and your brain's ability to perform. Right? Try not to sleep for a day or two or three. See how you can think, right? Well, what if we have low quality sleep on a regular basis? Do you think that might affect your memory, your mental acuity? Absolutely. So EMFs is probably the number one greatest interference to good quality sleep, right? So EMFs, the electrical magnetic fields in your environment. So I would encourage you to make sure that your bedroom has nothing plugged in anywhere. Completely empty of any electrical device, or if they're there, they're unplugged. That is the best thing you can do for high quality sleep. Of course, you want to make it dark. You could have a fan running, things like that. Those are all okay. But neurologically, magnesium is probably the number one best supplement. Not just any magnesium. There are specific magnesiums for the brain. But magnesium for the brain, magnesium citrate is not for the brain. Glycinate, malate, threonate. These are the three. There's a particular product that I will give away in a moment that is a magnesium supplement for the brain. And with this particular one, we're finding that 85% of patients that take it sleep significantly better than they ever slept before taking that. So it doesn't work 100% of the time, but it works a significant amount of the time. The thing with magnesium, and this is why it makes it one of the most important nutrients ever, is because the brain, the neurons in the brain have a plug that prevents them from winding up and burning out. And that plug is called a magnesium plug. That's a real term. That's what they're called. It's a magnesium plug. Magnesium acts and plugs those neurons and prevents them from winding up and burning out, right? So this racing mind, running thoughts that you can't turn down, you know, there's a good likelihood that your magnesium levels are too low. And honestly, they're too low in almost everybody. And the reason for that may not be because you're not consuming enough. It could be because there are too many foods in your diet that are blocking absorption of magnesium. And that's something we need to be more aware of. Gravity reset method is critical here. We covered that earlier. It takes the foot off the gas. All right? You may need a braking system, so we may have to do something different for that. But a lot of times we find that just taking the foot off the gas is enough to restore better sleep. All right? Now, I read that text earlier, and that was one of the things that my friend mentioned. He could sleep a lot better than he's ever slept before. Pooping is critical. So if you want to get a good sense of your level of health, look at how healthy your poop is, how often you go, and how easily you go. But some of the most important things to consider here are hydration in your diet. If you're eating foods that are dehydrated, it's going to slow down your digestive system. If you're eating a lot of fats, proteins, and carbs all at once, that's hard to digest. The three macronutrients all at one time, right? If you eat a pizza that's fully loaded, it's going to sit up here a long time, right? Versus if you drink a smoothie that's rich in nutrients with vegetables and fruit and plenty of hydration in there, it'll go down and move really quickly, right? I'm sure you can relate to that, right? So think about that every time you eat something. But also something else that I've come across in recent years is spore biotics. So it's a probiotic that comes from human bacteria. There's a company that makes those, and they're in whole spores, meaning the bacteria is in the spore. So as you take it, it's not denatured by your stomach acid. And what I'm finding is that we're seeing an extremely high success rate with patients who take that and their motility. So they're eliminating a lot more. Think about this. If your food sits in your body longer, it's a lot more energy for you to spend. This is the number one drain on energy, along with vestibular imbalances, is your gut and your digestive system. God food, so God made foods, right? There's stuff out on the planet that we didn't make. We could say nature's foods. We can call it something else if we want to, but they're foods that are designed specifically for our bodies, and they have everything we need. And those foods are typically naturally hydrated. And so if you consume more of those foods, again, your body will just naturally function better. So I like to keep it simple, right? So you look at what's in your plate and think, did that come from a lab or did it come from nature? And that's really how you can decipher what's good for you and what's not. Blood sugar, critical here as well. So number one best way you can help balance your blood sugar is, of course, avoid sugar. So, right, we tend to think people, oh, my blood sugar is low, I've got to consume sugar all day long. That's because they're trying to keep a spike high all the time. And that is not good. The best way is to consume more protein, fat, and fiber. Those three are the best at balancing blood sugar. And so think of the foods that we found naturally in nature. They are loaded with fiber. There's fiber. We think grains, fiber. Well, anything God made, like if it's a vegetable or fruit, it's loaded with fiber. So if you drink juice, it's basically like orange juice is like eating an orange without the rest of the orange. It's like removing all the fiber, so the sugar is absorbed really quickly. So I'm not a proponent of juices because then you're getting sugars in too quickly. But if you eat the fruit, the fiber slows it down.